You wake up in the morning, step on the floor, and feel that strange dizziness, as if the room were spinning slightly. The body gives signals, but do you understand what it means? Today, I'm going to share 3 simple, practical, and safe attitudes that many elderly people are using to calm their minds, regain balance, and make those mild dizziness a distant past. And the best part, no one needs expensive equipment or difficult maneuvers. Just a few minutes of your day, nothing more. Much better than looking through magical recipes on the internet, don't you think? Have you ever wondered why, after 55, it seems that worries gain weight and generate symptoms that we didn't feel before? Well, there's an important reason. The body matures, emotions too, but they can manifest themselves in new ways. Dizziness associated with anxiety, for example, is one of the most common signs. More than 60% of people over 55 report having had at least one such episode in the last year. I bet you didn't realize it was so common. This affects your mood, makes everyday life difficult, and even gets in the way of resting after lunch. Racing mind, accumulated worry, that lump in the throat, everything is reflected in the body. We feel it on our chest, on our sweaty hands, or even on our feet that hesitate before taking our first step out of bed. When we have been on the road for many years, we learn that the body's signs do not always mean a serious illness. Often, they are messages to slow down, like an old radio screeching when the volume is at maximum. In this video, you will discover how to use 3 techniques that act as buttons to turn down the volume on anxiety and bring firmness back to your feet. Have you ever thought about waking up without that tension in your shoulders, without that silly fear of spinning around the room? Before you move on, take a little deeper breath now. Close your eyes and imagine the smell of fresh coffee that filled the house in the mornings of the past. Okay, here we are, together on this journey. Taking care of balance is similar to daily care for plants in the garden. All it takes is patience and small repeated actions. Doubt? Come with me and see how small changes can replant your stability, one ritual at a time. While we take care of these small routines, there are those who think that it is enough to ignore the discomfort and move on. But time does not always solve everything. Take the case of Rosa. He woke up in the morning feeling the ground slipping away from his feet, hands shaking as he lifted the first cup of coffee. He tried to hide it, forced a smile, but his body insisted on showing clear signs. The butterflies in my stomach always appeared alongside that persistent dizziness. Rosa, who was always as firm as the trunk of a tree planted in her childhood backyard, realized that it wasn't just about getting older. It was as if each worry left a loose root, making the firmness sway with each new wind of the routine. Before long, she swapped post-lunch walks for long naps on the couch, hoping the strange feeling would go away. Anxiety at this stage of life wears other masks. It can come as a short breath, a heart jumping faster at the slightest scare, even as that insistent thought, "Am I going to fall this time?" All of this affects the quality of life, making the days less light and more dependent on short breaks and withdrawals. The villain's name may seem complicated, but it explains a lot. Autonomic nervous system, which is basically our body's automatic pilot for dealing with pressure and emotions. Now, just look at this fact. Episodes of stress-related dizziness affect elderly people twice as often as younger people. Impressive, isn't it? Many people don't even imagine it being so common. How many times have you or someone around you heard that it's just an age thing, or that a strong cup of tea or a nap solves everything? This is the first belief worth questioning. Not all dizziness is normal. Some may be a result of how the mind and body deal with everyday emotions. Now it's your turn. Do you remember a time when the worry grew and soon after you felt your body wavering? Close your eyes and look for that sensation, like an old smell of baking bread or a neighbor exchanging confidences at the gate. Nostalgia calms down a little, but it doesn't solve everything alone. With each small root revisited, firmness can return in the way that our rose seeks so much. Get ready, because the next step will soon come to change this and reap new sensations in the morning. Following our thread of roots and discoveries, I need to ask, have you ever heard that story that dizziness in people over 55 is always a sign of a serious problem? In fact, many people believe that it is enough to feel dizzy and they should rush for invasive tests or fear serious illnesses. But look, in more than half of cases among the elderly, vertigo is associated with anxiety or sudden moments of stress, not with chronic neurological diseases. This means that small changes in everyday life have real power to transform. Anyone who has ever caught a family member closing their eyes in the armchair, taking deep breaths to calm down, knows how this can help. Now, many are surprised to discover that there are not just complicated, expensive, or even dangerous methods for dealing with these sensations. A very common belief propagates that solutions for dizziness need to be hospital stuff, miracle recipes, or that list of medicines, which seems to grow longer than weeds after heavy rain. However, studies show the opposite. Simple deep breathing techniques reduce mild symptoms in up to 40% of cases. It's like watering the garden at the right times, instead of waiting for the storm to do everything itself. Just notice how a mature person, when sitting down, closing their eyes and breathing calmly for a few minutes, feels their heartbeat slow down, their head clears, and firmness returns to their feet. Contrary to what is generally thought, food and small routines also make a big difference. By including foods that balance sugar and hydration, many people notice stability returning, that initial fear diminishing each morning. Want a clear example? People who adopt the habit of dividing meals into smaller portions report less dizziness after waking up. The secret is in daily care, carried out like someone taking care of a garden. If you plant it, it will grow. If you water it, it blooms. Taking advantage of this moment, I want to know, have you ever dealt with episodes of dizziness and discovered any tricks that worked? Tell us in the comments. Your story may help another shaken root find firm ground. If this topic made sense to you, take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel and leave that little like of approval. This way, you continue to receive practical content directly for your routine. Now, take a deep breath and imagine the feeling of stepping barefoot on the cool earth early in the morning. Gives you peace, doesn't it? In the next block, we will plant solutions together that strengthen your balance, one day at a time. If you've imagined bringing something into your routine that really strengthens your roots, know that adjusting small details could be the change that makes it blossom. What if you tried the deep breathing technique first thing in the morning? Just sit on the bed, keep your feet flat on the floor, inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4, hold the air for 3 seconds, and then exhale through your mouth for a count of 6. Repeat this cycle 5 times. The benefit is immediate. The mind clears, the body slows down, and mild dizziness can subside at the beginning of the day. A practical tip is to place a colorful note on the nightstand with the phrase, "Listen to your breathing," so the habit becomes established effortlessly. Many people have found that including a calming tea just before bed makes all the difference. A mixture of chamomile and honey refreshes the night and helps the nervous system find tranquility for a restless sleep. To prepare, bring 250 ml of water to boil, add a tablespoon of chamomile flowers, Cover and wait 5 minutes. After straining, add a teaspoon of honey, stir slowly and enjoy the aroma. This short break brings comfort and promotes balance in the morning. Contrary to popular belief, food does not need to be radically transformed to contribute. During breakfast, opting for a slice of wholemeal bread with a thin layer of white cheese and a glass of natural juice helps keep your sugar stable, reducing spikes that can lead to dizziness. Keeping a bottle of water nearby is another simple strategy. After all, hydration is like regular rain, essential for constant blooming. Try these tips for a few days and come back here to let me know if you felt a difference. Your comment could be the fertilizer in someone's yard. Marcos, our second character, always started the day anxiously. His hands were damp when serving coffee. He was afraid of getting up too quickly. One day, he decided to test deep breathing to the sound of his favorite radio. He noticed the heat of the sun on the back of his neck, his fingers relaxing little by little, and a discreet smile returning to his face. It's not magic, but it's like exchanging old tools for new ones in the garden of life. At first, it feels strange. Then you realize that everything works better. Now, expanding our garden of solutions, how about trying a relaxation ritual before bed? Many imagine that only big changes make a difference, but small attitudes have the strength of an ancient tree root. A 5-minute warm shower with the bathroom light dimmed or music playing softly in the background creates a welcoming environment to disconnect your body from the fast pace of the day. If you want to enrich it even more, add 2 drops of lavender essential oil to a cloth and breathe deeply for a few minutes. The benefit appears on the first night. Sleep becomes lighter and waking up is more stable, without that feeling of your head spinning early in the morning. For those who find it difficult to remember these practices, a discreet alarm on their cell phone or a familiar smell on their pillow can serve as a reminder, like grandmothers did, sewing lavender into their grandchildren's pillows. Now, a special mini recipe to enhance your morning. Mix 20 ml of orange juice with a tablespoon of rolled oats. Stir until the oats soften. Add a slice of sliced banana and consume slowly, feeling the flavor and energy. This simple breakfast keeps your sugar levels balanced, helps you focus, and reduces the risk of sudden dizziness. And speaking of stories that grow, Marcos decided to include this routine in his life. He combined calm breathing with this strong coffee and, little by little, he noticed a lightness in his steps when going out for a walk, in addition to regaining that pleasure of listening to the birds early in the morning. In the neighborhood's community cafe, he even proposed a toast to the new habit, and his joy was such that he let out laughter in the style of old family parties. But not everything is always easy. On days of discouragement or forgetfulness, it's worth asking for help from someone you trust, spreading colorful reminders, or creating simple rewards, such as listening to your favorite song after completing the ritual. The term self-care may seem modern, but it reminds us of the care of the ancients, always paying attention to what is good for the soul and body. Stop, take a deep breath for a moment and think, what little care can you plant today? The benefits of these practices are there in the real relief of dizziness, in more peaceful sleep, in finding calm when waking up. How about sharing in the comments which of these tips make sense to you? If you liked the content, subscribe, activate the bell, and recommend it to anyone who needs to cultivate better well-being. The challenge of the week is choose one of these routines and maintain it for 7 days, noting the changes you feel. Soon, more tips for cultivating health will come here. In the garden of life, whoever sows care reaps balance. Allow yourself to bloom every day.